Good evening, and welcome to Dan Bain's Sleepy Time Mumbles, the podcast you can miss. I'm Dan Bain, and every episode I improvise a low-stakes podcast for you to fall asleep to. Good evening, friends. Just a few small things to touch upon before we head into the episode proper. The first of those being welcome to my new subscribers. We've had a small handful of new subscribers over the last month or so, and I would like to take the time to say thank you and welcome. Subscribers, of course, get access to every episode a week or so early, a week approx early, and also access to the complete back catalogue. That's every episode. Everyone else only getting access to the most recent 50 episodes. Subscribe. You got them all. Okay. We all know that. But let's just remember that subscribers are the people who are stopping me packing this show full of ads. You've listened to other podcasts, or they love to fill them up with ads. They put ads. There'd be ads by now if this was another podcast. This would be the cold open, and now it would be time for stamps.com or some such. Okay, that was number one. Thank you, new subscribers. Amazing. Next thing number two, before we kick off with the episode is May the 3rd, season 2 of my other podcast, X-Men the Animated Series X-Men Re-Examined, I think it's called, relaunches season 2. It's a TV rewatch show. It's an aggressive bantering kind of show is how I would describe it. So probably not I wouldn't describe it as a soothing listen. More of a riffing kind of show. Anyway, that restarts myself and my long-time associate Javier Hakeem. That's thing number 2. Thing number 3, third and final thing, is on the 24th of May 2024, I'm going to perform all 3 of my stand-up comedy specials back to back in Christchurch, New Zealand. So if you are Christchurch adjacent at that time, I would love to have you along. Tickets aren't even on sale yet. You're one of the first groups of people to know, but I will be attempting to perform Would You Like Me More If I Was Less Like Me at 7pm, Anxiety Knife at 8:30pm, and then at 10pm, Variations on the Same Joke. It's 3 hours of comedy, all in one evening. Yeah. Keep your eyes peeled for that. And if you are international, as I know many of you are, something like 80% of you are in America, I will be releasing those eventually on YouTube. I don't know if you've heard of this. It's an internet thing that we have in New Zealand. Maybe you have it internationally. It's kind of a video storage / player / search engine sort of thing. You can search for a video and then you can also play it. That's a thing you can do. Anyway, yeah, gonna release those on that eventually. So keep an eye out for that, because as I said, I will be looking to you, my Sleepy Time audience, to kind of just form a vanguard of initial. You don't need to watch it, but I just need people to turn up and be like, "Oh, this was great!" Like early commenting, early adopting. That's what I'm going to ask of you. But that's a while away yet. Don't feel the pressure now. If you don't know what it is, now's a good time to discover YouTube. You'll love it once you find out about it. Like, it's quite the rabbit hole, irrespective of your interests. Okay, those are the 3 things, but don't worry about those now. That can wait. For now, put down your phone, turn off your screens, and close your eyes. Now it's time to be mumbled to sleep. Tonight, hang on, Season 6, Episode 3, Alternative Reality Versions. Friends, I hope that this evening you subscribe to a many worlds or multiverse theory of reality, because we are going to jump between the timelines and hear some moments from alternative reality versions of this podcast. A disclaimer for the experience ahead. There's not going to be one, although this would be quite funny. There's not going to be an alternative reality where Sleepy Time Mumbles is a morning zoo sort of radio show where you get people to phone in and tell about the vulgar behaviour that they have undertaken over the weekend while on ketamine. We'll be avoiding that. All of the realities will be similar in that they will have a tonal similarity. That will be the constant through time and space, is that I'm not going to change mode. I'm just going to change what the show is, I guess. This episode, I think, worked better in theory. But now that I find myself at the time to pull the trigger, it seems a little less intuitive. Let's try one. Good evening, and welcome to Dan Bain's Creepy Crime Tumbles, a true crime podcast with a sinister twist. Every Monday, I look in the news to find crimes. I find crimes and then I investigate them. And the more unpleasant the crime is, the more I like it. And the more you like it, my loyal audience, or crumblers, as you know yourselves. Why is it tumbles? Oh yes, each story twists and turns and tumbles as it rotates through space. Am I trying to solve crimes? Or am I just bringing attention? Am I just shining a light? Am I just bringing attention? Is that what I'm doing? I think it is. Now, Crumblers, we've got a great creepy crime today that's going to do some twists and turns. Good evening and welcome to Dan Bain's Weepy Rhyme Fumbles, a podcast where I attend a poetry open mic every week and attempt to heckle the poets until they begin crying. You know my bugbear, listeners, and it's poems that don't rhyme. And you know what poets at open mic nights love? Poems that don't rhyme. So, you know what we love to do is turn up and shout, "Where be the rhymes?" That's what we shout, and we record it, and we keep shouting it until the poets cry, or I get asked to leave. If the poets cry, that is that's called a victory lap. And if I get ejected from the venue before the poets cry, or if they recognise me, because this podcast is very popular among hooligans and barbarians. If I'm recognised and thrown out of the venue, then that is that's called a big boo-boo. Tonight's episode is a big boo-boo, but we have a good time on the journey there. So let's go. Good evening and welcome to Dreary Climb Stumbles, a podcast about somnambulism and the danger of staircases. My name is Dan Bain, and every episode I speak to a sufferer of sleepwalking. We investigate their life. We hear the details of it, and also we look for commonalities between them and other sufferers. Also, safety tips. Tonight on the episode is it worth getting a big hook and hooking it into the elastic of your pajama pants, so that if you in a rope and the rope goes into the ceiling, and if you get out of bed and start sleepwalking, you get catapulted back into bed safely. Is that a good idea? We'll find out tonight. Also, I'm talking to Keith, who gave up sleepwalking after getting bored of it. Good evening and welcome. What else is on this stupid list? Okay, we're into the dregs now. These realities are not great. Good evening and welcome to Sloppy Slime Tumbles, a show where two professional comedians look at the art of sliming and gunging as popularized by Nickelodeon children's televisions, and we review the slime. We're slime reviewers, the two of us. We are tonight on the show. We are gonna watch a lot of people get drenched in slime, full adults. Just, when there's an adult guesting on a kids show, that's how special it is. It's not a sex thing. It's just, that's what we like. We have a real niche interest, and it is green or blue slime coming out of a giant tube onto a full-grown adult who is like sitting in a paddling pool. That is our niche. But it's not I don't care what the reviews say. This isn't there's nothing weird about it. We just have a specialist interest. Full stop. Good evening and welcome to Creamy Mime Rumbles, the podcast where every episode we watch a pie fight from a silent movie, and we break down the techniques utilized in bringing this cream pie combat to life. There was creamy mime, Dan Bain's creamy mime rumbles. Rumble like rumble in the jungle. Alright. And all you fans of we will of course be continuing the Blueberry Bakedown. The Blueberry Bakedown Breakdown, where we break down the bakedown techniques for the Blueberry Bake Off. Of course, this was a noted historical moment in the history of the American studio system. The Bake Off required to kind of provide the quantity of pie work, pastries, cream, of course, required for the real moment where the food fight was the defining moment of the silent comedy era. Good evening, and welcome to Tea Time Grumbles. I am your host, Dan Bain, and every evening we will be getting out our ukuleles and our picnic blankets in order to serve cups of tea and also moan and grumble about things that are affecting our lives. Yes, that's the podcast. Every episode I find a folk artist or a crafter, and we have a picnic, and I ask them to tell me what is going wrong in their lives, and they are full of anger. Once you pick that scab off, holy heck, it's it's non-stop. Just I guess rage is, and the masking of it, the fact it has been so tamped down, the coffee going into an espresso machine. Anyway, that's there are no more worlds. Yep. That was season 6, episode 3. Alternate reality versions. Sleepy Time Mumbles is produced by Noose Octopus Theatre, etc., and invented and presented by me, Dan Bain. You can follow the show wherever you like to follow shows by subscribing. Are you not already subscribed? I don't understand how people test podcasts. Anyway, you can also follow us on Instagram or sign up for our newsletter. Links in the show notes. But until next time, good night. Sleep tight.